Welcome back to Big Ben's Movie Show. This is Big Ben. We got a lot of cool stuff that we're going to cover on the show this week. Going to be talking about Justice League, obviously. We're also going to be telling you what to watch on Netflix and playing 5 questions. And we're going to do it all with the amazing Trevor Allen. Trevor is one of our oldest hosts, not old in terms of being old, but she's been on the show more than almost anybody. So glad to have her back. She's always a fun guest to have.
Yes, it's a delight. Trevor? It's always a delight to be here, and I'm having a good day. So
I think you were the very first guest on the show.
Oh, that's probably accurate. Yeah. I don't know what we did. Oh, it was the summer show.
The very first show was a summer movie recap because we were trying to experiment and see what the show was, and the show was an hour back then.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, it was. So, it also took a long time to even just get started that day.
Yes, it did. So very different from today. So all right, first things first though, we got to talk about the headlines. Not a ton of them, but there's some big ones. First off, last week, 2 weeks ago on the show when we were here last, we talked about Quentin Tarantino. He was deciding that he wasn't going to go with Weinstein companies anymore for the obvious reasons. Yeah. He was going to take his new movie to another studio, and the question was, is it going to be an indie or a major? That has now been answered. He went with a major. He went with Sony. And Sony has announced this as this big coup, like, we got Tarantino. I mean, it kind of is a big deal because his movies always are...
They always get big attention. They get a lot of attention.
They don't necessarily get a lot of money.
But they do. People always think about them and remember. He has a huge following.
Huge following. Usually gets Oscar contention.
Yep.
So it's usually a big press for the studio that gets the movie. And this is the first time he's ever been a free agent because everything else he has done has all been through Miramax.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So, yeah. I think Django Unchained, Sony helped with distribution. But other than that, it was all through Miramax. And so they were like, hey, we impressed him when we worked on Django, and we got him. They were really happy about it. So they did this a lot.
Finger guns. Remember Django? Remember? They had guns in it.
Yes, just like that.
That
was, I believe, Django only had finger guns.
I'm sure that's what Sony does.
Like, hey, no more slavery.
Sony doesn't know.
So, all right. Next one up, I think we briefly talked about this a while back because it was a rumor that 21st Century Fox and Disney were in talks where Disney was going to buy up chunks. So it was a rumor, and it came out it was true, but it went away really quickly.
It's back.
The thing, though, it's back, and it's not just Disney anymore.
What?
So Disney went and checked to see if they could buy it. That ended. We all know that. But now there's all these other companies that are like, time out, is Fox for sale? We'd like to buy Fox. So the list currently, it started with Comcast, and then Verizon inquired, which is kind of cool because Verizon, I don't think right now is a...
I think they're trying to. Yeah, I've heard about them doing some stuff, but I don't know what.
There's a thing that you can get if you're a Verizon customer called Go90.
Okay.
And I've heard Paul Scheer, who does the How Did This Get Made podcast, does content for them on that. And then, so I think they are trying to develop some kind of a media kind of company, maybe get in on that industry. The other company is Comcast, which is interesting because they're actually trying to get into the mobile phone business. You can now buy Xfinity mobile phone service.
Everyone's just trying to get everywhere.
Everybody's got to be everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the last one is Sony again, who is now everywhere on this news. So
they want to build up that universe, that weird Spider-Man not universe they have.
Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Make good movies. I'm down.
Yeah. No.
I don't really care much about the business as long as it's good because I don't see this money. I don't care.
Yeah.
All I get is your entertainment.
Yeah, and the only thing that we're interested about is like, which characters do you have the rights to, and which characters? So like, if Comcast buys Fox, that means nothing to me.
It means the same thing as it currently is at Fox, basically, because they'll just keep making those movies the way they are.
Maybe a Fantastic Four movie every 10 years or so. Now, if Verizon buys them, again, nothing. Now, if Sony buys them, then that thing we talked about, Fantastic Four, X-Men, and Spider-Man, all are now in the same universe. And if Disney could somehow come back and buy them, that's what we all really, really
Is it?
want.
Not me.
You don't want that?
No, because then you get one X-Men movie every once in a while.
That's true.
You don't get a whole universe. You get one. And maybe a Wolverine movie.
I think if they
do not get Deadpool. You do not get New Mutants. You do not get any of...
I do think that Deadpool...
You don't get any of these. Gambit's going to go away.
I don't think they would...
Something we also are going to talk about later is going to go away.
Oh, yeah.
Just all these things that we could have. And X-Men is my favorite part of the Marvel Universe. And here's the thing. If Disney has them, I basically don't get to see it, except for once every, 3 years.
On the plus side, though, it means the comic books would come back. We'd get more X-Men.
I'm not reading comics right now. I don't have money for that.
Right. All right. Okay, well, that is all the headlines for this week, is those two things. Okay, now to get to the main event, the big enchilada. It's Justice League, the thing we wore T-shirts for. So initially, I had heard that this was, that this was the most anticipated movie this year. That's before the year started, which is saying something because 3 Marvel movies, Wonder Woman, Logan, Star Wars. I mean, there's a bunch of cool nerd stuff. Yeah. Blade Runner, if you want to throw that in there.
I think maybe it's because of how much this is. We just haven't seen this for so long. It's the build-up. It's the excitement of finally seeing the Justice League together.
The whole friggin' team.
And then it has positives and it has negatives when things get really hyped up.
Yes. So let's just get right into it. Parts of this movie that you liked and parts that you didn't like. Let's start there.
I liked the character interactions.
Yeah.
I really liked the characters, and in the way they were interacting just felt very much not only like the characters from their comics in some ways, but also felt like grounded characters. They felt like they'd have their own worlds. Yeah. And we could see them separating and existing as real people within these worlds. And the other thing that I really liked was just the action and the visuals. Because it's something that I always tend to have a problem with in a lot of these comic book movies is the action is fine. It's not... these are superheroes. The action needs to be amazing. Like, it should be explosive and over the top. And for me, going to past that point where the CGI even looks good in action is where I want it to go. I want you to push those limits. I want you to push the technology. I want you to take it as far as you can and just drive it. That's what superheroes is about. Because I'm not a person who's into action. That's not my thing. But if you do it, you gotta just go for it. That's what I say. These are superheroes.
Yeah, in terms of CGI though, I think that's actually where one of the areas where this movie actually fell a little short. Overall, I enjoyed this movie. I'm gonna go ahead and say that at the forefront in case there's any confusion. But one of the areas that this movie is weak in is the CGI, in that the villain is a complete CGI character. Yeah. CGI throughout the whole movie. And, I mean, movies do this. They do this all the time. Wonder Woman had a bad guy that
CGI,
was human.
But it wasn't the entire movie.
And then at the end of the movie, we was at CGI. Here's the thing. I thought Ares looked better than this guy.
He's also in armor, so you didn't see a person.
The problem is Thanos looks better than this guy. I think Hulk looks way better. There's a lot of other CGI characters out there now. Beauty and the Beast from early in this year, I thought looked quite a bit better.
I never saw that, so.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's in my mind, in a world where there's such great CGI happening all the time, it felt a little bit of a misstep to have a character. I mean, here's the deal. The character doesn't matter. The bad guy in this doesn't matter. And I'm not saying that in a way that, should have been a better bad guy. Yeah.
His motivations, they're what they needed to be. He does what he needs to do. He's a warring guy who just wars and stuff. He wants to conquer.
I'm here to fight, and I need to fight.
He's similar to, what's his name from the first Guardians. He's as bad as that one. He's as bad as all the other stupid... All the villains we tend to get are bad.
But the reason that this one really doesn't matter is that's not what this movie was about. Yeah. This movie was about putting the team together. You've seen it on all the posters. Unite the League. That's what the movie was about, was uniting the League, and it does that. It does that in a really fun, good way that by the end, I was really, really enjoying. You talked about the individual worlds. The movie actually starts, and we open with, and we get a peek.
And we get peeks.
At all the individual worlds, and it's a little rough.
I think the problem
Those vignettes are a little rough.
There was a mandate by W to make it under 2 hours, this movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They were forced to put it under 2 hours.
I did notice that. It felt fairly quick.
So there's a lot missing in that early stuff, I think, of those worlds, and what their stories should be. I feel like there's a lot more from each character's story that we're probably supposed to get, but they had to smush it.
Gotcha.
And take some things out.
Yeah.
Because it just feels a little right. It feels bullet pointy. Like they're just trying to get through those bullet points of here's a character, here they are. And I enjoyed the pieces, but it felt like you needed more. It needed to flow better. It didn't flow as well as it should have. That's what I liked the character interactions.
Yeah.
I really liked the characters, and in the way they were interacting just felt very much not only like the characters from their comics in some ways, but also felt like grounded characters. They felt like they'd have their own worlds.
Yeah.
And we could see them separating and existing as real people within these worlds. And the other thing that I really liked was just the action and the visuals. Because it's something that I always tend to have a problem with in a lot of these comic book movies is the action is fine. It's not... these are superheroes. The action needs to be amazing. Like, it should be explosive and over the top. And for me, going to past that point where the CGI even looks good in action is where I want it to go. I want you to push those limits. I want you to push the technology. I want you to take it as far as you can and just drive it. That's what superheroes is about. Because I'm not a person who's into action. That's not my thing. But if you do it, you gotta just go for it. That's what I say. These are superheroes. Anyway.
Out of 10, where are you gonna put it?
7.5-ish.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say 6.57.
Yeah, like, somewhere around there.
Right around that. Yeah, it's
good.
It's a solid, enjoyable, fun movie.
It's fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing special, nothing fantastic and amazing, but good.
Just overall
good,
good fun, good times. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. I will. My one other thing, I didn't like how they used Batman sometimes. I felt like they made him look silly.
Really?
Yeah. Like sometimes when he gets hurt and stuff like that, and they just kind of like played it up for comedic effect.
Okay.
So there's another scene where he's hurt, and it shows him as like a wounded warrior.
Yeah.
That I liked.
That works.
But him on the ground, like.
They wanted to make a reference to the lead thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and it is a joke.
But that worked. But him lying on the ground afterwards was sad.
Oh.
So anyway.
He's old.
Enough about Justice League. It's fun. It's good. Go see it. This is definitely something that everybody should go see. You got lots of time now. You got the holidays coming up.
You don't have to.
So, if you're hanging out on Thanksgiving with your family and you're like, this is boring, I'd like to go do something fun. Go see Justice League.
That's a good time to see it.
Yeah. All right. Next up is Binge Worthy, talking about all the cool stuff that's on Netflix that we're watching and we're enjoying, and that we want to share with you, the viewing public. So, all right. So for yours, what show did you pick?
I picked the show Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Okay.
It airs on CW, but it goes to Netflix after each season before the next season starts and all that. It's on season 3 on CW. First 2 seasons, I believe, are on Netflix. It's a musical comedy, and it is about mental health. And by season 3, it gets very serious. It's actually a really amazing show, but it feels like you might be able to tune in just whenever sort of thing, but it's not. It builds up, and it's amazing. But it's about a woman who's been living this life that her mom wants and things like that. She becomes a lawyer in New York and she's going to become a partner and everything, but then she freaks out because she starts seeing stuff like, when were you last happy? And so she remembers being at summer camp with a boyfriend for summer camp she had. She sees him, and so she moves to California to basically try to get with him.
And this is on the pilot. I do remember this. Yeah.
And it's goofy. It's fun. It's very unique. It's very.
I checked this out on your recommendation. The first season, I checked out the pilot. Wasn't totally my cup of tea, but I could definitely see the appeal. Definitely seemed kind of fun and zany and
it's zany fun, but it also, especially season 3, is when it gets really
and
deals
original
with dark
songs.
stuff. It's all original. There's at least 2 original comedy songs every episode.
That's amazing. That's hard to do.
They do some great stuff. It's pretty impressive.
That's pretty cool. My pick is something that just came out on Netflix today. It's one that I've been waiting for a while. It is The Punisher. This comes directly from Daredevil Season 2, where we met the Punisher, played by John Bernthal. An amazing run in the first half of Daredevil Season 2, an okay run in the second half of Daredevil Season 2. And then now he gets his own show. And from what I'm reading of all the reviews, it's amazing and way more realistic and gritty. I haven't gotten to watch it yet.
I haven't either.
Yeah. Well, no, I was watching Justice League last night.
Yeah. Too busy.
Watching Justice League and then
thought maybe this morning
for all my other TV shows. No, I've been at work all day.
Oh.
So, So those are our picks for Binge Worthy. Go ahead and check those out. Let us know through the email bigbms@zoho.com what you think of those if you like them. So, all right, time to play 5 questions. Here we go. I don't think we've ever played 5 questions.
No, I haven't. What is this?
It's a new thing. We just started. So this is, instead of Sock Not Suck, I ask you 5 questions. They should all be kind of yes, no-ish, but we'll see how it goes. So number 1, should James Franco, not Dave Franco, I have Dave Franco written down, but it's
yeah, I
James
saw
Franco. Should James Franco make an X-Men movie? There is a rumor that James Franco has signed on to play the Multiple Man in a movie for Simon Kinberg.
Yeah. Simon Kinberg?
Yeah.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
This is the thing that they're doing though there, and it's so far Deadpool has been successful and Logan is getting an actor, and Gambit has been trying to do it.
Yeah.
Is getting one actor who really wants to do a thing and going into it. It's been successful, but I worry that just continually trying, like thinking if I can get a good actor, then all of a sudden we can make an amazing movie.
Yeah.
I do worry that they think that's just going to work every time. And Multiple Man, for one, I don't.
You don't know Multiple Man?
I know him. Do I think he deserves his own movie?
Serious, this is not. So just to be clear, Multiple Man, maybe has had limited.
I think he's an
singles
X
runs,
Factor for
but
a
yeah,
long
he was
time.
a team member in X Factor. Before that, I believe he was in X Force, one of the original versions of that.
He's been around. I've seen him in cartoons. I've seen him around, but he's never a main character.
His basic power is that when he gets hit or thumped in any way, he develops a copy of himself, and can do so over and over and over again until there are hundreds of him, thousands of him.
I think there was a version in one of the first 3 X-Men movies.
Yes, in the third X-Men movie, there was a version of him that they used for a funny little bit where they were like, "Oh, we found the crowd of people," and no, it turned out to be just one guy. So yeah, so it's he's an interesting character, but not
who you
somebody
think.
who I would guess would be your first choice to make an entire movie around.
Like even Gambit, I would say before that, and I've been a little bit iffy on that one coming out. So
no, I'm totally on board for Gambit. Yeah, so I should James Franco do this?
Sure, fine, whatever. I mean, if I think there are other things you can do.
I think he's also getting like really saturated lately. It feels like he's.
I think a lot of people just have stopped caring.
He's got a show on HBO. He's got The Disaster Artist coming out in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then I think he's got some other stuff going on.
Kind of went away a little bit.
I don't think he's because he was teaching classes, writing poetry, doing something. I mean, getting his doctorate, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't think he's been really at the forefront though for a while.
He's taking a bit of a.
I think he's trying to build up that thing again, maybe, and that's what this is. I don't know, but
yeah. I'll go ahead
fine
and say
with it.
You can say that. I'm going to say no.
Oh.
Pick a better character. Pick a better character, James Franco.
There you go.
Next one up. Is it fair for Rotten Tomatoes to hold off on revealing a score for a movie until it's close to the release date? In the past, if a movie didn't have reviews out probably about a week beforehand, it meant that they were not letting reviewers watch the movie,
the embargo,
which then was a signal to the reviewers, oh, this movie's going to suck. If you've got a movie that you won't show to critics.
Well, they'd usually show up, but they wouldn't let the embargo lift. Yeah. Well, it depends. Some switch and they do one, but not the other, and then some do neither. And
So Rotten Tomatoes has actually held on to the score. Now, here's the thing. The studio didn't ask them to do that.
Yeah, it's Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes decided to do that for a TV show that they're trying to start. Well, not a TV show, but like a web show similar to this one.
Yeah.
Get off my turf, Rotten Tomatoes. Where they're going to release the scores the day before the movie comes out. It's going to be a big deal.
Here's my problem with this. I was looking, because I just looked at the Rotten Tomatoes basically before we started.
Yeah.
And I saw this little thing, and they were saying that they were protecting Justice League, whereas my thought is, no, this makes it more clear to people.
Yeah.
This is the score. Look at it. Look at the number. Look at it.
So now you've made news about the score.
Yeah, this makes the number more important. And to me, that's not the important thing, because I've seen movies that have really low Rotten Tomato scores, and I've enjoyed them.
And the score that Rotten Tomato gives out isn't even necessarily the score that the critics are giving out.
It's like
like in this situation, the score the critics are giving out is like 2 points higher on a scale of 10 than the actual tomato score, which is extremely misleading.
Yeah, it's just this weird system of if it goes below a certain point, it becomes non-fresh, and that just automatically gets like a negative completely, and so that goes into the number. So if anything does that, it goes negative. Anything's even slightly positive, it's just a thumbs up positive.
Yeah.
So the score is not really helpful, I don't think. I feel like you want to find a critic that you like, or just read the reviews, find one that you actually, someone in particular that might share your views on a lot of movies.
Or you could just keep watching the Big Ben's Movie Show, where we talk about this stuff every week. That, I think, is the best thing to do.
I mean, if you trust Ben here.
Yeah, well, and whoever my guest host is. Yeah, that's what you should be doing. That's the thing to do. piss off Rotten Tomatoes.
Gosh.
All right. So I think we both agree, don't do that, Rotten Tomatoes.
It seems unfair, yeah.
All right. Next one up. Does Joss Whedon hate Steppenwolf? Joss Whedon liked the tweet from somebody, another reviewer, posted a tweet saying that Steppenwolf, who was the bad guy Justice League, is the worst comic book movie bad guy ever, including the bad guy from Thor 2.
Yeah.
Who, so far, we all agree, sucks.
Yeah, it kind of sucks, yeah.
Universally, even the people who like Thor, even I think the guy who played him in Thor, all agree that guy sucks. So
this seems like a non-story, because here's the thing. I know David Ayer would like things that were negative about his movie as, like, just to show that he's not upset, things like that. So we don't know why he did it. It could have easily just been hey, I know someone's criticizing my thing. And then after that, he's like, I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I think he's just joking. I don't think this is real.
We don't know what it means. Yeah. Maybe he does dislike it.
I've clicked likes of negative comments about myself on the internet.
Who knows? Maybe he just accidentally clicked it while he was scrolling through the phone.
Like that senator that liked on gay porn and stuff.
Oh, no, he liked that.
Okay. All right, next one up. Will Justice League beat Thor Ragnarok?
No.
Thor Ragnarok's opening weekend. Thor Ragnarok opened at 122, 126.
Oh, so it could be pretty
close. Yeah.
That's hard to say. With a score, I don't know. Are there a lot of movies out? What came out this week?
Here's the thing, not a ton, no.
Okay, so
I mean, here's the thing.
It's right before Thanksgiving. People are leaving, though. They might not be where they are, so they might be busy moving around rather than
the only real competition would be Murder on the Orient Express from last week, which I saw and really liked.
I liked it, but I don't think it's a competition.
I don't think it's competition, yeah. It's a different demographic completely.
Yeah.
And Daddy's Home 2.
That's not competition either.
It might be.
Oh, I heard bad things about it, too.
I've heard terrible things about it, but I heard terrible things about the first one and then saw it and enjoyed the hell out of it.
Who knows? So, people want to see that Mel Gibson.
Everybody likes that Mel Gibson. He's a winner.
Yeah.
Everybody likes him.
Delight.
All right. So I'm going to say probably not.
Yeah, I think it won't.
I think it's projected to do about 10 million.
Yeah,
less.
I think word of mouth is definitely was better for Thor. I don't think it's going to be as good for Justice League. Because I'm not even going to recommend it probably to people.
I do think Justice League probably has better legs because it's going into the holiday season and there's nothing like this until Star Wars.
So it'll keep going at least.
Yeah.
And that might help it out.
Which
I hope, because I at least enjoy it, so I want it to make some profit. I want the universe to keep going.
It needs a lot of money to make profit.
I like these characters. It does, because of a lot of the stuff that happened.
The budget was like $250, and then they did reshoots, so now they're saying it's like $300.
I feel bad for it, too, because
the number we're hearing is that it needs to make $600 million to show a profit. So
yeah.
Could be hard.
Yeah, it could be tough.
Last one. This is another little rumor that's out there, and we get to comment on it because it's fun. There's a rumor out there, and it actually kind of gets hinted at in the movie, too.
Yes.
That Ben Affleck might want to step down as Batman.
I was going to mention this, yeah.
So here's the thing. The guy who's directing the standalone Batman movie, Matt Reeves, has stepped up and told a reporter, who initially didn't announce it, but has now announced it, that Matt Reeves actually has a guy in mind if Ben Affleck wants to step down.
Did Matt Reeves say he had someone?
Matt Reeves said he had someone in mind.
I don't...
And we should point out the guy that he mentioned is Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes. Here's the thing. My thought would be do at least one movie with Ben, and then the thing is about him being old. Yeah. Like he's the older Batman, and pass it off to the next generation. We already know Nightwing is coming.
That was my thought.
Why not just pass it off to Nightwing? Do a Battle of the Cowl where maybe in the second one, Ben maybe just shows up. He's kind of there, but he's not. He doesn't have to be like beefy because he's getting old. He doesn't need to work out all that much either. We don't want him to.
That would be my first thought.
I think have a Battle of the Cowl type of thing from the comics-ish with a Red Hood mixed in there, and then and maybe make Nightwing take over.
That would be my thought. And here's the thing: if you want to cast Jake Gyllenhaal as Nightwing, he's not my first choice, but I wouldn't hate it. He's younger. He's a little more slim than Ben Affleck.
I'd definitely give it a shot.
Yeah, I'd
watch
give it a shot.
the movie.
I'd give it a try. And Jake Gyllenhaal's a hell of an actor. So
he is, but I don't know Nightwing. Okay.
Trevor's very particular about Nightwing.
Nightwing holds a special place in my heart. The Dick Grayson holds a special place in my heart, not just Nightwing.
All right. Well, that is the show for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about the show, issues about the show, you can email us. But first, let me go ahead and say this. If you want to hear more of what I have to say, you can listen to me on my podcast. It's Die Hard on a Blank on the Geek Wars Podcast Network. Search Geek Wars Podcast Network to find it. Trevor, where can people find you?
You can find me also on that Geek Wars podcast.
What?
Network. Oh my goodness, I do a Dackless Weekly on there, which is just basically I do a daily journal, collect the week together, and it's just me talking about my day and just thoughts. And it's sometimes interesting.
There you go. You can really get to know Trevor.
Yeah, a bit,
So.
maybe a bit too much.
All right. Normally I do the email first, but I'm going to do the email second because, so here's the thing. I've been doing the show now for a couple years. This is going to be our 71st episode of the show. And I, several times over the last couple months, have considered maybe not doing the show anymore. So here's what I'd like to do. If you watch the show and you like the show and you like the show to keep going, send me an email, any email. You don't even have to write anything. Just let me know that you're watching and that you'd like the show to continue by sending me an email. The address is bigbms@zoho.com. It's on the screen. So send me an email. Let me know if you want to watch the show. We are going on hiatus here for the holidays. So whether or not we come back, I am putting that up to you guys. You guys let me know what you want to do. So
What are you doing?
Basically
Come on.
it's a good opportunity for people, for Trevor and some of my other friends to get on TV. So
We're buddies. What's
so
happening?
thanks so much for watching the show, and have a good night, everybody. Happy holidays.
Toodles.
Bye.